and your 2024 Titan. You are now listening to Sarge on the Iron Elite podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not listening to the Iron Elite podcast, what are you really doing? Because we are talking motorcycles over here. You dig?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Iron Elite podcast. Well, my man, Big Sarge, where we always keep it motorcycles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know what it is.
Hey y'all, it's Snacks reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite podcast. You dig?
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show. Man, I'm so disturbed. Man, I had to lay down and take a nap after them Jacksonville Jaguars did me again. Man, I thought they were going to do their thing, but, man, they did their thing. But anyway, man, hopefully everybody's having a great evening. Hopefully everybody's got back home safe. I know you guys were on the highways and byways this weekend getting it in and doing your thing, but we got a good one for you this evening. We're talking coast to coast. We're talking about I-10 to the end with my guys, man, from Charlotte, North Carolina and Atlanta, Georgia. So let everybody know we're on. Share with a friend. We're getting ready to go, man. Let's do it.
The other day, hey Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting y'all gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Slide on my road glide, looking so fly, 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We Iron Elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and hogging lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Follow up, y'all the road, run it up, rip it up. Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it. I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know Harley did it. I'm real gnarly with it. My ride clean when it bling. I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it, get it? I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hit. She dropped it down to split it, backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here, giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, follow up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Harley Up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do?
Hey, man, welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show. Man, it's Sunday night, man. As your boy was saying, it wasn't a good football weekend for me. Florida State, oh, y'all did me, man, again. The Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all crushed me. But anyway, man, we're going to get on and talk about the things that we talk about as motorcycle riders. And that's riding motorcycles, man. And I got a treat for you today. If you guys don't mind, for those that are on right now with us, reach up. Hit the like button, man, so we can get this algorithm kicking and we can talk about what we need to talk about. Today, man, I got some great guests, so I'm going to bring them on, man. I'm going to see if I can get these guys kicking. And we're going to introduce them, and we're going to talk about this thing called cross-country motorcycle riders. So, family, top of the evening to you. How you fellas doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I ain't doing good. How y'all doing? Y'all straight? Everybody straight?
Yeah, we good, man.
Holding it in the road.
Hey, that's what's happening. Hey, we're gonna try to work on Chris. Chris was dealing with some issues with the storm. And shout out to all my families, man, that was affected by the storm. Man, that thing was something crazy. Hopefully you guys are getting back together, man. Much love to everybody and prayers out to those who are affected by it. But we're gonna try to sojourn and do what we gotta do. And as we can pull Chris on back and forth, we will. But he is going through some issues with internet and that type of stuff. So let's do this real quick. So, family, let's go around the horn if you guys don't mind. Well, let me do this before I get started, man. Shout out to my faithful that are on with us this evening. Danielle, appreciate you being on. E. Chiz, appreciate you being on. D. Bell, the baddest motorcycle rider in the land, is on with us this evening. And King Cash, appreciate you being on with us this evening. So those are coming on with us, man. Y'all know what to do. Reach up, man. Hit that like button, man, so we can get this algorithm kicking and we can get it flowing. So, fellas, if you don't mind, let's take a few minutes out and let's introduce ourselves to everybody. Tell the world a bit about you. So who wants to start off with me?
I'll start off. It's all good.
Well, let's kick it, man. Hey. Oh, man, I ain't gonna even start my jokes right now, man. I'm starting my jokes in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and kick it. Go ahead, my dog. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Clinton Kelly, better known as Predator when I ride. Like you said, currently I live in Charlotte, originally from Jacksonville, Florida. Love to ride. I ride an 18 Road Glide Special. My girl Scarlett, she's been treating me right, and as long as she does, she's gonna be my ride.
You know I had to throw that out there for my guy. You know I had to throw it out there. Hey, if y'all don't know what that means, go Google it, dang it. Google it. Who else we got?
So this is Chris Wilson from Charlotte, North Carolina. I ride a 21 Ultra Limited, and I am grateful and thankful to be on the show this evening.
That's what's happening. Who else we got, gentlemen?
All right, I'm Brian Chapman. I currently reside in Atlanta. I'm originally from Indiana. I ride a 2014 Victory Cross Country, and I'm giving it to them on that road.
Facts.
I'm Joseph Chisholm. I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm originally from Michigan. I'm not sad yet, sorry, because the Lions play for Monday Night Football. So hopefully tomorrow I gotta get up. I gotta get up for my Lions boy.
Hey, we praying for you, my brother. We praying for you. Did we miss one? I think. Okay, we got everybody. Joe was the last one. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay, that's what's up. Hey, so the fellas are back now. Y'all been back home on the East Coast for what, about 3-4 days now? No, it's been about a week, isn't it?
About a week.
About a week, yeah. For everybody that don't know, man, I had to go out there and get it in. Me and the after party had to go out there and catch the guys I think I caught y'all about 70, 80 miles out, was it?
Yeah.
About 70, 80 miles out. Yeah, they were doing their thing, man. They were coming in on a beautiful Sunday. And, man, they were bounding down. They thought they was going to drag Sarge, man. I said, ooh, they just don't know. But it was an awesome meetup, fellas, on the highway to get a chance to ride. You know, a little bit under an hour with you guys, man. It was a privilege, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys made y'all ride look too easy. But we're going to break it down, and we're going to talk about it this evening. Because if my memory serves me correctly, you guys went across using a 40. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Did y'all do the 40? So did y'all go 40 end to end?
We didn't start at the end, but we started. Chris and I started in Raleigh.
Okay.
And I think the other guys got on in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay, bad. Okay,
actually, Joseph got on in Asheville, and B-Dog got on in Nashville.
Okay. And y'all did y'all thing, man. If my math serves me correctly, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say, y'all trip was over $6,000, over 6,000 miles. That sounds about right.
That's right.
Man, did somebody say something? Okay. And I just want everybody to know out there, man, on the Iron Elite Podcast show, we bring these riders on, man, and we're talking, you know, minimum 6,000 miles, 7,000 miles, 8,000 miles. Some of them go up to 19,000 miles. And we're so used to this stuff, man. It's so fundamental. The wife did some analytic stuff for me just a few days ago. of all the I-10 to the N rides that we had just this year. And when she brought the numbers up to me, and they're raw numbers, and it could be just a little bit more, but she brought those raw numbers up to me, and it was some 530,000 miles this year from everybody doing the I-10 to the N. So I'm going to do this, man, real quick, because let's do this. Because 500,000 miles on a motorcycle, and we make it look like it's fundamental. And it's not fundamental. And I'm sure after we're done talking with the guys this evening, you guys are going to see as well. Man, what we're doing out here on these motorcycles, man, is some serious stuff. We're making history. We're at the tip of what you can do on a motorcycle. I believe in myself personally. When they built these motorcycles, man, they didn't expect people to be doing some of the crazy stuff that you guys are doing. What y'all think? That about fair?
That's
Man, they
right.
didn't expect us to be doing this crazy stuff on a motorcycle, but we're doing it, and we're showing the world that it can be done. And what I like mostly about this Each One Teach One platform is we're teaching each other how to be our greatest behind the handlebars of a motorcycle. So with that being said, man, we're going to get right into it. So for those who are out there again, man, if you're on this right now, reach up, hit your boy with a like so we can get these algorithms kicking. We're not going to stay on Facebook all night tonight. We're only going to be on Facebook probably for another 10 minutes. If you guys would be so kind to do so, reach over here, open up another tab into YouTube. Sarge Life and Motorcycling is the YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and shoot your boy a subscribe. I guarantee you the product that we have on the YouTube channel, you will learn a lot on. So, fellas, with that being said, okay, let's talk about it. Okay. We're all friends, am I correct? I hope so.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me from the beginning, whose idea was it, man, to take this trip together as a crew across the country? Whose idea? Who came up with this?
I'll say last year was my first time going cross country with Chris, Clinton, and we had another guy, Marcus. So, Clinton kind of threw out, and Marcus like, hey, I'm trying to do the lower 48. They done it before. And I have a map that I'm filling in. I have like 12 states left, and I've been all 50. And I'm like, it'd be cool to do them all on a motorcycle. So I was anxious, like, hey, guys, can we do it again next year? That way we can do the lower half. So I would say it was Clinton did it before, and Chris and I was like, let's get it. And Brian B-Dog, he done before already too. So it was just, let's get this goal. And we had guys that did it already, which made it, that much better.
Okay, cool. So obviously we got some veterans in the group, so it's not that big of a thing for them. All it is just, okay, hey man, let's strap up and do what we do. Okay, so as a group, how much time was there between when we all agreed to do this to the time we launched? Was this 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? How much time were we playing with?
Like you said, we started last year after we finished our last ride, but maybe 6 months out, we started having conversations about it, initial conversations, and then 3 months out, we started getting a little bit more serious about where we're going and where we want to go, and if anybody wants to make any stops along the way, a general route, and then kind of like where we might want to, if anybody in particular want to see anything special, then we tried to add that in, and then all the way down to the last, I think I had to change something like the night before, two days before, and that's why we had to ride to Raleigh, and Chris decided to roll with me up there because I had some business to tend to, but everybody was instrumental in planning it out. So started a year ago, I think, when we finished the last one up, like Joseph said, hey, let's do it again, so here we are.
Okay, so right on. Let's get right into it. So, all right, so if I've never, well, let's take it for this perspective. How do we prepare to take a 6,000 mile plus trip across the country? as a group? What are some of the things we do, and how do we get ourselves started preparing for this? And anybody can take this, and we can run it around the room.
I would say personally for me, I knew who I was going with, right? When I first moved here to Charlotte, I met Chris. And then through Chris, I met Clint. Then through Clint, I met Brian. So I already knew who I was riding with. I would say some personal things for me that Clint brought up, what Predator brought up last year is walk, exercise, get your yoga in, increase your water intake, which was definitely helpful because I know I don't move a lot at the job I have now. So me getting up and making sure, let me make sure I get these 10,000 steps every day. When I come home, let me turn on YouTube and the baby can sit on the floor and we can all do yoga because I'm sitting in that same position all day. So just moving to prepare my body for this long, potentially hot trip.
Okay. So, and I hear a lot of people say this. Hey man, Sarge, if you're getting ready to make this trip, man, you want to at least a couple weeks out. If some say as much as 30 days out. Hey man, start watching your diet, start doing some walking, start doing some stretching, getting more sleep, those type of things. Would you guys agree with that?
I agree with that. And just to kind of piggyback off what Joseph said, the riding that we do, it's just like working out. So you got to prepare your body, your mind, everything. Also trying to get ready for this ride. We normally take a few smaller rides in the interim. Just to get yourself prepared to go out for the long ride.
Okay, yeah, getting acclimated. Because I don't care what you do, man. That seat on that motorcycle, it's gonna bust your tail. Your back gonna hurt, your head gonna hurt. You can't work out for that helmet. You just gotta go and do what you gotta do on that, right? Is that about fair?
That's fair.
Hey man, it is what it is. Hey, stand by because you're gonna get a whooping. Okay, so bet. So, obviously, eating good, getting more sleep, getting more water in your system, hydrate. I'm telling you, water does the body good, man. If you're going to be a long distance motorcycle rider, if you think you're going to do it without consistently hydrating, and that's even in the wintertime, definitely in the summertime, there's no way outside of that. Is that fair, fellas?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Across that desert, ain't no pump.
That desert is that desert undefeated. They don't let it teach you a lesson because it will. Sometimes it'll teach you a lesson with your life if you ain't careful. Earlier this summer, man, I saw I think it was around the Death Valley area, man, where they had quite a few fatalities out there with a motorcycle group, man, and some lost their life out there. Some were really, really beat up from being out there, man. It could just be something so simple as your motorcycle break down in the desert and you're out there in that heat for a long time. You have to consistently be prepared with hydration and having water liquids on that bike, man. You just never know how things are going to work for you. Okay, so fellas, so maintenance stuff. I heard we had everything from a 2018. What was the latest bike we had? Was it 22?
22, Joseph. You got 22, Joseph?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think 22 road.
Okay,
Right, yeah.
and don't let them fool y'all, man. They had some good looking motorcycles out there, so they all got good jobs, man. So they were doing their thing. I'm just saying. Okay, so maintenance on the bike. What would I be looking? Let's see if we can get Chris back on, man. He catching the blues. Let's see if we can get him on. He's still buffering, so we'll play with him for a while. So general maintenance. Talk to me, fellas. What would you suggest? Just taking it into to the service department, get a full outright on it, or how would you do that?
For me personally, anytime I go on a ride like this, I'm getting 2 tires. First and foremost, 2 tires, oil change. Make sure my clutch and everything like that is adjusted because I still have a cable clutch. Mine's not hydraulic, so I have to make sure my clutch is fine. Make sure my tires are good, my oil change is good, things of that nature. Always got me a tool bag with me.
Facts.
So always have tools for your personal bike.
Facts. Hey, in between packing all your J's, your Jordans, and your skinny boy jeans, you need to have a tool bag?
Whoa.
Rock with a tool bag, is that safe, fellas?
That's it.
A tire repair kit, how about that?
He been in
let's
your
talk
bag,
about.
Joseph.
Hey, let's talk about it. What are the roadside equipment things that we should have on our bike?
Well, we
I keep an
have
air pump,
the
the
airports.
jumper, battery charge, like I said, a tire change kit. For me, it was a guy, I teach the motorcycle safety course, and this a guy I was talking to who done it plenty of times. He say, I take a bottle, like a gallon jug of water with me, because you never know, something might happen, you might get stranded and nobody have water. So before I left, I went to Dollar Tree and grabbed me 2-gallon jugs, and I would try and refill it every time I left the hotel. So fill it up with ice, my insulated cup with ice, and let's fill up my gallon water jug.
Right on. Smart stuff. Okay, so this time of year that we were rocking, I'm assuming you guys saw everything from maybe cool mornings to really hot days. Was that about fair?
Yeah.
You hit it on the nose.
Okay. How would we pack making a trip across country? Because you guys did the September run, the early September run. What would you suggest us packing? And never mind the J's. We won't care about the J's and the jeans and the Harley T-shirt and stuff. Let's talk about the riding equipment. What are some things that we should bring?
Weather gear, first and foremost. Got to have that rain gear. Got to have you some weatherproof boots, some waterproof boots. Got to have a full face helmet. I know a lot of people like to do the half helmet, but you got there some of that weather, you need that full face helmet. So got to have your full face helmet. I had one pair of thermals, top and bottom, to go up under, because we had 1 or 2 cool days also where I had to have that on. That's about it for me as far as essential out of the ordinary. Besides you having your couple pair of jeans, I think I took 3 pair of jeans and a couple pair of socks, mostly underwear.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly underwear.
I thought I saw it was a few of you guys riding with riding suits. Am I correct?
Well,
some were rocking riding suits.
I had one, but mine kind of it's actually a waterproof suit, top and bottom. But you can take the liner out and use it for cool weather or the hot weather. It's breathable, so it works for it all.
Right.
And this was the first year I got that, so I was very pleased with what I had this year.
Oh man, riding suits are the funk, man.
Was it expensive, Brian? Where you picked that up at?
It was not expensive. I got it at Cycle Gear. Both pieces cost me about $240. And I got some waterproof boots that they were just like wearing tennis shoes.
Okay, right on. Brian got money, man. Some of our riders, Brian, man, that wasn't no money, man. I just ain't a thing. But hey, I'm gonna just tell y'all this, man. $200 for a riding suit is very inexpensive, and it's worth every cent of it. If you got a good riding suit, actually it saves you from packing extra clothes on the road. Riding suits are comfortable. They deal with debris on the highway. Again, they're insulated. It's going to protect your skin from the sun and heavy winds and those type of things. And they're breathable and they're comfortable on a motorcycle seat for long distance at a time. So I would suggest anybody who's getting ready to take a long distance ride, across the country ride, or 4 corners, or whatever, anything that you're going to be riding several hundred miles, I would suggest that you have a riding suit. Now, I know some old throwbacks that, Sarge, I rock with a pair of jeans and some chaps and I do my thing. I get you, man. Shout out to you. But for those other ones, get you a damn riding suit. Stop playing around. Let's do this real quick. So everybody that's on with us right now, we're going to – yes, sir.
No. What I was going to say is just give you a little context of about how we got a lot of the equipment that we received that we were riding with this year. In March, we decided to take a little short trip.
Hey, Chris,
all of us decided to ride.
Hey, Chris, hold on 1 second. If I could pause you 1 second. For everybody that's on with us right now, if you guys would be so gracious to do so, man, go ahead and open up another tab into YouTube, Sarge Life and Motorcycle. We're going to be getting off Facebook here in about 2 minutes. So if I can have you guys go ahead and open up a tab, YouTube, Sarge Life and Motorcycle. The channel is down below. So hit that link below, man, so we can move everything over for the long-term content. I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead and shoot it to us. What were you saying?
No challenge. We took a little short trip. You asked us how did we kind of get started. We tried to do a couple little short trips before we take our long trip, and we decided to take a trip down to Jacksonville in March. And it seems like the day we left, it was only supposed to rain from Charlotte to the time we got to Columbia, South Carolina, which is about an hour ride. In actuality, it rained until we got to Savannah, Georgia. And I don't mean a regular rain. I mean, it was a torrential tsunami. The highways got closed off, so we had to take back roads. And, we had waterproof gear on, we had waterproof gloves, and we recognized not everything is made the same because although it said it was waterproof, we were drenched. So we had to kind of go back to the drawing board, and we all went out and bought some new gear after we took that gear to the limit. I'll also say this. I believe Predator had a Camelback that I don't know, it might have worked for him, but I had a cooling vest. I had a cooling vest that I bought from Harley Davidson. And basically you just put it in some water, it soaks up the water, and then you put it on, and then you put your regular, I wear a mesh jacket. And I can tell you that cooling vest really did work. It helped kept us cool when we were going through the desert.
Okay, right on. So, family, we're getting ready to move on. I'm going to go ahead and click off Facebook now. So, if you could be so kind to do so, go ahead and move on over to, open up a tab, go ahead and move over to YouTube. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Hey, so D Bell just said $200 is really cheap for a riding suit. I can't buy can't buy a top or bottom for that price. Now, D Bell got a suit. Yeah, man, he rocked with that climb suit, and I can't remember the other suit that he had. When I asked him when he came in, he just finished the I-10 to the end just a couple weeks ago. Him and the South Florida crew. When he came in, I said, D Bell, that's a nice suit, man. How much that king for? Sorry, this is only $1,100. I was like, man, stop. I'm gonna have to save up, and I'm gonna have to put together birthdays, anniversaries, Father's Day. I'm gonna put all that together. Type of suit. But yeah, man, no suits. But I'm gonna say this again, talking about that. For the most part, riding suits, and it's up to you on which your preference is and how your wallet is running. But that I would put a riding suit over any pair of jeans, I don't care, or Dickies or whatever, any day of the week. Would you guys agree with that?
I never had a riding suit, but I like the way he worked his as far as Brian, because it was like easy on, easy off. It was like you weren't trying to figure out what he gonna wear every day. He already knew what he had to get done. If it got hot, he just took the liner out. If it got cold, he put the liner back in. It wasn't no trying to figure out how he gonna stack stuff on top of each other. So I think that was a real good move on his part. Could let us know beforehand, but he just showed up with it. But,
Okay.
I ain't gonna put nothing on him. And to piggyback off Chris, that ride that he talked about to Jacksonville, he forgot to mention that it was cold. It was below our 55 that we usually ride. Like that's our cutoff is 55. It was in the 50s.
55 is the cutoff.
It might have went into the 40s, and it was raining. What is it? A pin? What is it called, Chris? The pin thing for your goggles?
Pin lock.
Pin lock.
That's the best money I have spent.
A pin lock cost you what, about $15? Yeah.
It was about $30, but
for pin lock?
And I got it off of Amazon, but that was some of the best money I have spent, because when we got in the rain this time, it worked very well.
I'm gonna just say this, man. Without a pin lock, you're gonna be having fogginess in the visor. Man, get you a pin lock, man. Stop playing around. It's just a few dollars. You gotta have it. So I'm just trying to check out King Cash. You say, what if genetically I've got a big head because of my father? Are there any cheap big head helmets out there?
Some people
Yeah,
get
Clint.
I'm gonna tell you this.
All about it, buddy.
Hey man, they got helmets for big heads out there now. Cycle gears, they got them from small to what like 3X, 4X.
5X is where I'm at.
5X. Oh yeah,
5X.
yeah. They got a
HBC
bucket.
got 5X. Oh yeah.
Oh, they got a bucket for your
That's
chrome
He's
though.
trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does have a globe up there though.
Okay,
Gotta figure
okay,
what it is.
okay. Right on. So we gonna go ahead and move on. So we didn't cover the physical part. We've covered equipment, roadside emergency gear on our bikes, and we're ready to rock and roll. So let's take it from the start. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take it from the West Coast this time. We're not gonna even worry about the 40. We're gonna take it from the West Coast. We're at Santa Monica Pier that morning. You guys take your photo. You're ready to roll. Now, obviously, when you came across initially, you came across on the 40. The 40. So now we're dropping down to the 10. The 10, for those that don't know, I-10 is the most southern route across the country. Across the country. You're skirting across the Mexican-U.S. border. Ain't no more souther than south, that's south, without being in Mexico, without being in another country. So obviously it's a little bit different temperature ride. It's a little bit different road. It's a little bit different nuance than the 40. So take me through that, fellas. Say the first day coming out the gate, what did we experience? What are some things that you guys would want us to know about traveling, the southern trajectory?
Traffic. Traffic.
Shout out to LA.
Hey,
Ooh, man.
if this was the first time I won't say introduced to lane splitting, but first time I've ever had to do it on a motorcycle. And if you have never done it, it's scary, but it's necessary in California traffic.
Okay, right on. I'm gonna just say this: it's definitely necessary. It's definitely necessary. You ain't gonna get nowhere in California, especially when you're talking about LA all the way going into the IE till you get into almost to the California Arizona border. Is that fair, fellas? You got to split lanes. You just got to.
Yeah.
Or yeah. Actually, I think it gets dangerous if you don't.
Yeah.
It gets dangerous.
We had a couple of unique experiences. One, you can tell people who are professionals at it, right? Because they're coming down doing 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. I think Clinton and Joseph actually experienced where they got a police escort, and maybe they'll tell you about the police escort they got splitting lanes. So, it's about staying close to the person in front of you as long as you have confidence in what they're going to do. But B-Dog said it best. If you're not willing to split a lane, you might as well go ahead and just park your bike and get on a plane and move it and get to El Paso and go from there.
Facts. I agree with you. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. And for the folks who've never been out in California, and now Arizona is splitting lanes, thank God for Arizona. They figured that thing out. And I think it's a couple other states that are doing it now. So shout out to those states who do allow splitting lanes. You just look at it like this: the traffic is so thick and it flows so hard that it's not safe to be putting your foot on the ground on the highway. It's not safe for a motorcycle. You really have to keep moving. And just to think about the possibilities of a motorcycle sitting in traffic, running hot, those type of things. If a motorcycle breaks down in traffic in LA, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a very dangerous day trying to get a bike out of traffic onto a place of safety. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you got to do what you got to do. I would suggest, I don't know. I've talked to a few guys about it. I don't know how you prepare yourself for dealing with that. Maybe in a situation, if you got time, maybe you make yourself a little cone drill in somebody's parking lot where you have cones and you practice going through maybe a cone obstacle course or whatever. But you're going to have to learn how to do that unless you're going to go riding through California at about 2 a.m. And even then, they got the freaks come out at night. So you still got to be ready for that type of stuff. So you got to get your mindset together and be prepared to do that, or it's going to be a long trip for you, or you better not be dealing with going in there doing traffic. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I realized that having on your bright lights help a lot also. During the daytime, it brings more attention to you from the four-wheelers. So when Chris spoke on us following the cops, prior to them, we were skirting and kind of, getting through. But after them cops came through, man, I saw him coming up behind me with his bright lights on, and man, they part like the Red Sea. And even after they left us, I had my bright lights on, and it helped a whole lot as far as helping the cars get out the way a little quicker and better. But yeah, having those bright lights on, even when you're not parting lanes, it helps people see you better. So I would say during the daytime, even if you're not doing a long cross country ride, during the daytime, put your bright light on. It'll help draw attention to you, especially when you're out riding by yourself.
And I would also suggest loud pipes save lives. Hey, them stock pipes, man. Get them dang things off. They get you some Reinhardt, get you some tabs, get you some D&Ds, man, because the cars need to hear you. Cars out there, they're occupied with a lot of things, and that's everywhere in the United States. I just, my wife tell me all the time, man, you can hear your bike around the corner coming into the subdivision. I say, man, at least it ain't gunfire. I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me as well as seeing me, just like what Predator said with the bright lights and stuff, man. Just some things to think about when you're getting ready to ride across country. So fellas, we banging it out of California. We get in. Let's go to the first leg of the trip. How was the first leg of the trip? What are some things that riders should be looking out for, and what are some things that riders should expect?
What y'all all speak at once?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Well, let's do this, Joe. What you got, Joe? What you got? Talk to me about the first day of the leg.
Oh, first day of the leg. I was excited just because number one, been gone for a long time, ready to get back home. But first part of the leg, I know I was a little worried. Worried being, I know we're on the 10, it's going to be hot. So that was my thing, and also considering the time that we left. We launched at like 1 o'clock, so it wasn't like a 7, 8 a.m. launch. So part of me was like, okay, it's getting cooler in the day. It's not like we leave in like the midst of it. It's super hot and it's going to get hot. So like, all right, cool. But that was my biggest fear, biggest worry of what am I going to do to stay hydrated? Like, I know I can drink so much water, but I need to put in some of the liquid IV mix that I have. I need to make sure I drink a Gatorade. So that was my biggest concern. I don't want to get too hot. I don't want to overheat. Do I have enough stuff? I want to make sure I'm covered. So one thing I made sure I kept my helmet closed because my lips started getting chapped from the wind coming in. So let me keep my helmet closed. Let me crack a little bit because I want some fresh air coming in too.
Okay, it's interesting that you said not getting hydrated. I want folks to know in September going across. You guys launched out of California. What you say about 1 in the morning?
1 in the afternoon.
Oh, 1 in the afternoon. Okay, so it was pretty hot. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that desert is no game, man. That desert is no game. Just like you said, chapped lips, face, those type of things. Closed face helmets are an essential. I know, again, some of my desperados, they're going to rock peanut shells and stuff. I suggest you don't do that. There's just too much stuff that's going on the highway, especially through that strip of highway. It's just so much truck kick up rocks and tire debris and those type of things. That's a big deal. So the first day coming out the gate, how far did you guys travel the first day?
El Paso?
Y'all rode to El Paso?
We went to El Paso the first day.
Which is a nice little rump. That's a nice little ride. Ride. Okay. So from California to El Paso.
Was El Paso? No, I'm sorry. Was it Phoenix?
We went to Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay, so Phoenix. Okay, so
we actually started in San Diego. So we came up from San Diego
to LA.
That's why we didn't leave LA until 1.
Okay, so you like I said, you guys still had a good ride that first day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So any issues, any problems the first day coming out the gate, anything at all?
No problem. Just hot.
Okay. Just hot, just a good ride. Okay. So the first day we get it cracking, we get to Phoenix, which is a major city from that that space from San Diego to Phoenix. Actually, it's probably the first major city you're going to run up across, after you leave L.A. Not probably, it is. So you guys bed down in Phoenix. wake up the next morning. What time did you push out the next day?
Like 9 o'clock. 9.
9 a.m.
Yeah, it was about
Oh,
9.
y'all were doing y'all thing. Y'all were taking time, having a good time, huh? Okay.
We believe in rest.
Okay.
We believe in rest. We left Phoenix and went on to El Paso.
Okay.
And we were going to go a little further in El Paso, but we had some mechanical issues on one of the bikes, so we had to end our evening a little early in El Paso. Now, another good thing about this group is this group knows people everywhere we go. So part of our stop in El Paso, we had an opportunity to meet some of Joe's friends. We had an opportunity to meet some of Clinton's friends. And so we had a good opportunity to meet some people as we were traveling along the way.
Right on. I remember doing that time because I normally don't mess with you. I just kind of watch you do your thing and get down and that type of stuff. And I remember seeing Predator. I think that was you. Wasn't you the one that had the tire issue?
Huh?
Wasn't that you the one that had the tire issue?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Every
Okay,
year,
good. I got
every year we take a trip. Someone has a
Yeah.
tire issue.
yeah.
He ain't asked you about no other years. He just asked you about right now. He ain't asked you about all that.
Yeah, I saw everybody. I saw everybody else down there, and I saw you right here. And I reached out, and you guys had a plan for that. I think it was in El Paso. Quentin had to hold up, and he had to do what he had to do. So you end up having a flat tire in El Paso, or a bad tire, or something going on with that.
It didn't have a whole lot of rubber on it, and the night before, the reason why we shut down early, like you said, we shut down in El Paso. We were going to go to Fort Stockton, but we didn't. We were going to get up. I was going to get up, and we thought it was a Harley dealer there, and it wasn't.
In Fort Stockton?
Yes, we thought.
Man,
it was
ain't nothing in Fort Stockton except a couple of hotels and some horses.
Well, when I put in Harley dealer Fort Stockton, it gave me one, but it
No,
was
sir.
It was in
No, sir.
There's another whole city that went on 20 out of the
Facts.
way.
Yeah.
And, we didn't figure that out till I think the next morning. Was it, Brian? We figured that out that it was
No, actually, that night at dinner. That night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we had to change the plan, and instead of, because I had told him, I said, well, instead of riding all night to get there and get there early in the morning, how about we just leave early in the morning, like 5 in the morning, and then ride the 3 hours and be there when they open.
Facts.
Go ahead and get my tire done. But then luckily, like you said, we figured out that night that we were going to the wrong place. We weren't going to be on I-10. And so we just elected to, I had already called around and found out that they had a tire. So I just stayed there and waited till they opened. The other guys got to pushing. I told them I'd catch up. I needed some alone time,
Yeah. Because the other guys, they pushed on to San Antonio?
They left me.
Yeah,
San Antonio. Yeah.
So they left you out there by your damn self.
They left me, man. They left me.
Hey, and you know, sometimes let's be honest. We grown folks. Sometimes we have to plan, and we have to do what we got to do for what we got to do. So I saw it. I saw Predator. He held up in El Paso, did what he had to do with his tire, and the rest of the gentlemen took off to San Antonio. And gentlemen, let's talk about this stretch of highway. I affectionately call it the gauntlet. For everybody this whole part of this Iron Elite get out, we kind of understand that stretch of highway. And that's the stretch of highway between El Paso to Bernie, Texas, or San Antonio, Texas. We call it the gauntlet. When you're in that stretch of highway, every mistake is amplified. Every issue is amplified. And I'm gonna tell you this, and the fellas, I'm gonna give it to the fellas, let them tell everybody. That area has nothing but desert, wide open spaces, and it's very rural, very small population base out there. So running out of gas is desert again. A breakdown. That's not that many dealerships you're gonna find. Ain't too much civilization out there. So let's talk about that stretch of highway. Let's talk about the gauntlet. Let's talk about from El Paso to San Antonio. What should we expect, and what should riders that's getting ready to make this ride this week, what should they be prepared for?
Can I say for the record real quick, Brian?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
My guys didn't leave me. I elected to ride along. Each of them did offer up to stay, especially Chris. Chris wanted to hold back and ride with me. So that would have been the best way to ride. I just didn't want them to have to hold up and wait on me. So I told them to go ahead, and I was enjoying the 80-mile-an-hour speed limit by myself. So
Well, they knew where you were.
Oh yeah,
They knew where you were. And
That
they could
app,
get
that
to you.
app
I
that you
understand.
had, that 360 app is
Facts.
that's the
Yeah.
real deal. That's real nice there.
Yeah, they could get to you. I understood what you guys were doing and why you were doing it. It made total sense to me. We don't leave anybody behind per se. We just have plans and we do what we got to do. But at the end of the day, we know where our fellow brother is at on the highway. Nobody's leaving nobody stranded. So okay, I'll let you guys go ahead and continue on with this topic.
So, like you were saying, after Fort Stockton, if you're doing this ride and you're coming from California, if you need to gas up in Fort Stockton, whether you got a half a tank, 3/4 of a tank, it doesn't matter. Gas up. Because after that, like you were saying, there's nothing there. And we almost ran out of gas because we didn't gas up in Fort Stockton.
Facts.
When we got to the gas station, my hand was laying below E and my light was on.
Hey, don't be told a lesson out there.
Hey,
it'll be a long one.
When I tell you, hey, it was pretty scary.
And the thing about it is, B-Dog Brian rides a victory. So we always gauge our gas by him because he's always less gas than us, right? And so B-Dog, when he's ready for gas, he'll pull up and point at his gas tank, say it's time to get gas. So we're like, cool. And just like he said, we stopped in Fort Stockton, but we had just got gas probably 30 miles before we stopped. And when I tell you, when we pulled over on the side of the road trying to find the next gas station, generally we do it while we're riding, but we could not find a gas station anywhere. So it required us to stop. And so there was a gas station 30 miles supposedly in front of us, but there was another gas station 15 miles north off of I-10. And we elected to be a little adventurous and go to that gas station because we knew that we were riding on fumes. And I tell you, when we came into that town, people on the porches were looking at us like, we know you all are not from these parts. We got our gas, we turned around, and we left. We got back on I-10 and we kept moving. So they've said it best. If you at Fort Stockton, I don't care if you got gas 2 miles ago, get some gas so you can make it across to the next gas station. Because at the next gas station, you're gonna see a plethora of there was like one gas station right on the corner, and then we all stopped there supposedly because there's just nothing out there. So that I tell you, please stop and get gas.
You had plenty of campgrounds we passed, like exits. You know, they had the campgrounds that you can go to. Now the gas station in sight. I rode at least 10 miles with my bike saying 0 miles to empty. Like when it had zero, I rode at least 10 miles, and I had reduced down in 80 miles per hour limit. I was down to 55, 60, like rubbing my gas tank, telling my girl to go. And my bike was coughing when we pulled up into that gas station, and they said it was the same one they ended up stopping at. But yeah, it was close, and it was getting dark for me, so I was about to cry.
Hey, and all of a sudden you start hitting them coyotes. Hey, I'm just saying, for everybody out there, again, I think Masoul's getting ready to kick off his I-10 to the end here in a couple of days. And I'm just saying, for everybody out there, doing that stretch, we call it the gauntlet, man. You cannot monkey around. If you hadn't rode that stretch of highway several times and you're a veteran to it, just like the gentleman said, man, you can't take nothing for granted. I tell everybody doing that stretch of highway to gas up every half tank. Don't monkey around with it, man, because just like the gentleman said, you might find yourself 15 miles off the 10 looking for a gas station in a small rural town. You know, I've had stretches. I go across every year to recertify the highway, and I've had situations where I've run into little towns, and they look at me and they go, "You're looking for gas, aren't you?" I say, "Yes, sir." Yeah, we don't have any gas right now. The only thing we have is diesel. That's an issue. That's a real issue. And then you're getting farther and farther off the 10, which becomes more and more risky You know, you just don't want to be in these little small backwater towns like that. You want to be as close as you can to a major interstate just for your safety, for first and foremost, and just for situational awareness. So I suggest anybody that's getting ready to do the 10 to the end is going through again this plot of highway, what we affectionately call as the gauntlet, from El Paso to Bernie, Texas, or from Bernie, Texas to El Paso. Gas up every half tank. Just like Predator just told you, his bike was coughing with gas. Hey man, when I'm getting low on gas and I'm going through an issue like that, I do everything, man. I turn the music down on the Bluetooth. If I'm on the phone, I get off the phone. Do y'all do that, man? Everything gets serious. Your eyes get bigger. You know, you're not breathing as much. You're trying to save gas. Because you're like, damn, if I run out of gas, it's going to be a long behind day. Is that fair?
Long, yes.
Yeah. I would even suggest for our riders, man, to carry you a 1 liter gas can or gas bottle on the bike. And if, again, you're not familiar with that stretch of highway, go ahead and put some gas in. Get yourself a gallon of gas or a liter of gas just in case, because you just never know. Weird stuff can happen to you. I'm sorry, fellas, so I'm going to let you guys take it and from there. Anything else we need to talk about the gauntlet doing that stretch of highway, that 200-something miles, 300 miles?
You know how big our tank is there, Sarge?
How big your tank is?
How big is our tank?
About 6 gallons.
6 gallons. Okay, I put 5.480.
Yikes, sir.
Yeah.
You didn't have no gas in the tank. You just had gas in the fuel lines.
Yeah.
When you pulled up, all we heard was fuel pumps. Well, I've had it happen. Hey, I've had times we've been out there and I called a wife on the phone and say, damn it, wife is finna get me. She like, you finna run out of gas? Yeah. Let me call you back. I need to think. Hey, man, it'll happen to you. Okay. So anything else? So let's take it from, okay, so we get the tire fixed in El Paso. Okay, Predators catching up with the rest of the fellas. You guys y'all made it to San Antonio that night, am I correct? Or that evening?
Yep.
Okay. Any issues, any maintenance issues with the rest of the bikes, and anything in particular we need to talk about how the bikes were running?
Oh, bikes were running good. We just weren't getting good gas mileage, but the bikes were running good.
Well, man, the speed limit back there 80 miles an hour, so I know y'all were doing at least 98.
Yeah.
Because I know y'all don't speed, so y'all follow the speed limit.
88, not 88.
88. Okay. So when you did catch up, Predator, when you caught up with them later that night.
Yeah, they made it to the hotel. They left like 3 hours before me. I think I got there 45 minutes after y'all.
He was 45. He was 45 minutes behind us.
He went playing, was he? Okay. Yep. Okay, player.
But well, that's because they had to go 15 miles north and back.
To get the gas and stuff.
We sat out and ate and everything,
that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. So next day, San Antonio, we pushing, because now San Antonio, for those that don't know, San Antonio is about in between, depends on where you're at in San Antonio, in between, say, 1,050 to almost 1,100 miles from Jacksonville, Florida. Mm-hmm. So depends on how you pound. It can be anywhere from a day to just a little over a day from Jacksonville. What was the strategy leaving San Antonio?
Eat lunch in Houston.
Oh, okay.
That was the. I think our plan was to get to New Orleans after we left San Antonio, but we part of our trip we were on a Buc-ee's world tour, so we stopped at a few Buc-ee's, stuff like that, and then we met some other of Clinton's or Predator's friends in Houston, had lunch, got back on the bikes, and then went through New Orleans, and I think we ended in Gulfport, Mississippi that night.
Yeah, I remember that. Hey, man, shout out to Buc-ee's. Let's do this, man. Man, I'm telling you, Buc-ee's is like the Disney World of gas station stops, man. Hey, Sarge got to get a barbecue sandwich. I go through Buc-ee's, but I just had to put that out there. But at this
if
point,
you got to go to the bathroom, you better find the Buc-ee's.
Hey man, Buckets is fly. Hey
Buckets
man, you
stay
walk in the door,
clean.
you smell them cookies, man. Them cookies. I don't get the cookies, but man, I love the way them cookies smell up in that piece, man. So from San Antonio to Houston, we're talking, what is it, 200 miles? I think it's 200 miles from San Antonio to Houston. Anything that we have to look out for? Because now we're starting to get into Eastern Texas. Any issues as far as traffic, construction that riders need to know about?
Traffic's still a little heavy there too,
Mm-hmm.
but not as bad as LA. But
Okay.
traffic can be heavy.
Okay. So say going east of Houston, like Baytown, all the way up going into Beaumont, there's a lot of construction over there. Did you guys notice that? A lot of construction on highways.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It
A
was.
ton of construction. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, out of Phoenix, going to Phoenix, you said we had a lot of one lane because they were doing a lot of construction on a lot of the bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of one lane uh, out of Phoenix to El Paso, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow.
A lot of
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's something that's going on out there right now. They're working on the lanes on the bridges.
Another reason why you want to have good tires on the bike going across the country, man, I would suggest, and I'll let the fellows chime in as they need to do so. If you're gonna go across country, man, unless you're just gonna just a couple hundred miles on the tires, go get your brand new fresh set of shoes on your bike. And I'm just saying because there's a lot of wear and tear on these highways. There's a lot of grooves, there's a lot of indentions, there's a lot of construction, there's a lot of debris, and even decent tires get wear really, really fast on some of these highways. Is that fair, fellas?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The heat too.
I was about to say, not to mention that the pavement is about 20 degrees hotter than it is outside.
Facts, man. Check your PSI in the mornings and when you're done at night, because you'll be shocked at what you might find out there. These fellows are telling us we're going across the country, man. It's super, super hot. PSI could be a real big problem if you ride around with tires that are poorly inflated. It could be a real problem. Is that fair?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
think the
amazing
guys
for
will-
me. I was always checking my PSI, but when it got hot, I would just look at it on my gauge, and it'll just say high. Like it didn't have registering the number anymore. Just
That's an issue. Yeah. That means your PSI is over 50.
Through the roof.
Yeah, that's real. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give it back to you guys again. Those are big deals, and I experienced that quite a bit running a 10 during the summertime. Whether going to Louisiana, whether going to Houston, Texas, or even California, you have to be conscious of. And I know some of the newer bikes have the TPMS system, but I would still suggest that you bring the old school PSI gauge and manually check it yourself. Is that what you guys use? Anybody got TPMS other than Joe?
I do.
Okay. Okay.
And actually, there's a point where I think Joseph and Predator got ahead of us, and Joseph and I actually had to pull over to the side because mine said the exact same thing, and it was over 50, and I had to literally get down. I'm a big guy; you might be able to see it, but I had to get down on the ground and let some air out the tires because we just did not want to be overinflated. And once you do that, you can tell the difference in your ride also. The right pressure makes your ride a whole lot more comfortable as well. So not just safety wise, but also comfort.
Well, if you're talking over 50, there's a chance that tire could blow on you, and if that tire blows on you, you got problems. So I would suggest for any rider out there, again, that's getting ready to make this ride or any ride on the highway, and your TPMS system is one tracking system, but you also have to manually check. And when it starts to get to that point, I don't care where you're at. Don't wait to pull over to an exit and that time. Pull your butt over and manually check that bad boy. And if it is overly inflated, you're gonna have to let some air out of that tire. And then you ride it again for a certain amount of time. I would say, again, maybe 20, 30 miles and see what it does. And you might have to go and repeat that process again, but it's important that you do that because, again, on that hot stretch of highway, those tires will expand, and if they expand higher enough, they will blow on you. You had something to say, Joe?
No, I was just kind of going off, just boom. It will.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, at 80 miles an hour, the death wobble will be the death wobble. It will. So be careful about that. Okay, so fellas, we get into Houston, we break bread, we do our thing. So we push on. Let's talk about we're crossing over, let's say Lake Charles, getting to New Orleans. It's a long stretch. It's a bridge that crosses. What is, I want to say that's Lake Pontchartrain. I don't know what the hell. I think it's Lake Pontchartrain. I think is it Lake Pontchartrain?
I'm not sure that's the lake. They do
Okay.
have that
It's
lake
Lake
out. I'm not sure
Pontchartrain.
which one.
It goes over Lake
It's
Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain.
Okay.
Okay. So from that stretch into New Orleans, any issues, anything riders need to know about?
I would say coming out of Houston, and even prior to that, HOV lanes and express lanes are your friend. Look for them. Get in them. I don't know how much my bill gonna be, or these tickets that's gonna be coming in the mail, but whatever it is, it's worth it. Cause yeah, when you can't lane split, boy, them HOV lanes and those express lanes are your friend. So
Right on.
oh
Right
yeah,
on.
oh yeah.
But not only that, and going across the bridge, across Lake Pontchartrain, going to New Orleans, it's a bridge. I believe that bridge runs for 28 to 30 miles. Get gas before getting on the bridge. Would y'all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we already had gas. I think we had gas up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
You run out of gas on that bridge, it's gonna be a long day. Going through the different parishes, right? Am I correct? It's probably in between that bridge. There might be one chance in the middle that you might be able to get gas. I think it might be one chance. Other than that, you're screwed. What did you guys think? Did y'all see the same
We
thing?
learned our lesson.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson when we did the gauntlet. We weren't allowing our gas tanks to get low for anything.
Quarter tank gas. I was saying, let's get some gas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't play, man. That'll be a long day, a long hot day, and probably by the time, say somebody from AAA or whatever to bring you gas out there, man, it will be a long, long day for you. And even if some bikes went ahead to get gas for you because you ran out of gas, they got to go all the way to the end of the bridge, and they got to come all the way back, and then they got to come back on the eastbound. We're talking about probably 2 hours to go get you some gas. Is that about fair?
That's fair.
Because you got to ride, man. You got a long ride. So again, shout out to my riders that are doing this. Certain points of this team that you have to be very, very aware of what's going on. Or it could be a long day. A small thing could become a real big thing. So we get into New Orleans. We push on. You guys push from New Orleans. We push to Gulfport, Mississippi. Am I correct?
Yep.
Man, y'all could smell the end from there, can't you? Just smell it. Yeah.
Smell it sweet.
So we get to Gulfport. Any issues between New Orleans and Mississippi, or is it just easy breezy riding?
Easy ride.
Yeah, easy ride. We wanted to stop in New Orleans, but I think they had an LSU game going on, and so the rooms were a little expensive. Oh yeah. That's why we pushed on the Gulfport. We got there. We were looking at it like if we have to stop in New Orleans, we'll go ahead and spend the money. But we all felt fresh, so we went on to Gulfport because the rooms was a fraction of the price. So we didn't get to party in New Orleans like we wanted to, but that's not what we were there for in the first place. So unfortunately, we had to push on to Gulfport.
Yeah. Well, Gulfport is a pretty nice little town too.
Oh yeah.
Nice little sea town, not bad. Okay, so far so good on the ride. The motorcycles are running well. Don't seem like you guys had too many issues on anything. So now we're looking at what? Okay, Saturday night we're in Gulfport. Sunday morning we get up and we can feel it. So Sunday morning, take me from Sunday morning when you guys get up. What time you took off heading into Jacksonville, and was there anything that we need to know about on that stretch of highway?
We leave 8:00.
Was it 8?
I believe we left about 8:00.
Okay.
But that morning, Sunday morning, that was a good ride. It was clear, not a whole lot of people out on the road, so no problem there.
Yeah, y'all were easy breezy, man. I was tracking. Y'all were doing y'all thing, man. Y'all was doing y'all thing. Y'all, so at this point, for those that don't know, okay, Gulfport, Mississippi, Alabama, Mobile, the Panhandle, Pensacola, that stretch of highway is pretty open. It's pretty nice stretch out. Ain't nothing out there, but it's pretty nice stretch of highway. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Still kind of rural. Am I right? You can still kind of goof up sometimes out there, as far as gas stops, but it's open road, pretty nice highway. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty
And the way
beautiful,
the
too.
gentlemen were riding in, it was pretty nice time of day. It's the morning time, so I'd imagine it probably wasn't too hot, nice sunny, coming on in. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was beautiful scenery too, coming through Mobile, going through the tunnel. Going into the Florida Panhandle. It was a very beautiful experience. And then, like you said, it wasn't very hot. Wasn't very hot. It got a little warm. But another good thing is that we collect state signs. So I believe we had an opportunity to get some really unique pictures of some state signs. I think Joseph got a really nice picture of the Louisiana sign and Alabama sign. That I think was help make the experience great.
Yeah, that stretch around from Mobile to what is that, Santa Rosa County, when you're going through the you're seeing all the waterways and the channels, is a really pretty ride. Is a very, unless it's bad weather, then that's a horrible ride. But if it's pretty weather, that's a gorgeous ride. Seeing the water and seeing the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, I agree. So we get into Jacksonville. We make it into Jacksonville. Now, for all of us as a group, was this the first time any of us did the 10 to the end? I know someone went across country before, but was this the first time on the 10 from 10 to the end?
First time for me. Yep.
Okay. Joseph, your first time as well?
Yep, first time.
Okay. Predator, was your first time?
First time on a bike. Yeah.
Okay, right on. So let's do this final segment, because now we made it Jacksonville. We're feeling kind of special about ourselves. Are we boss now? It's all over now. When I saw them in Jacksonville, they was smiling, feeling good. They saw if we finna go to cigar bar. It's time to celebrate. So let's do this segment, fellas. Let's do this. Let's do the good, the bad, the ugly. What was the takeaway that you would want viewers to know about taking this trip from one end of the I-10 to the other end of the I-10? So we'll take it. Let's go with, who wants to go first? Let's do our final takeaways of this. Who wants to go first?
The good.
Well, so I'll go first. I think
Okay.
one of the biggest things for me, and we've said it already, gas management is very, very important. Number two, we kind of glossed over it, but lip balm, that was very, very important for me. But also just having a good time. And I'll say I wasn't initially kind of quote unquote doing the challenge. I was doing the ride. But after making it to Jacksonville and having an opportunity to meet you and learning more about this platform, and what you're doing for the community, it really just made me excited to officially, I guess, commemorate or participate in this. So I had a wonderful time. I saw a part of the country that I've been to before, but never on a bike. So if nothing else, I urge people, if you're really interested, if you have the ability, to go ahead and do it. It's going to be an experience that you truly won't forget.
Right on. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to piggyback on Chris, and then I'm going to turn it over to the fellas as well. What I love most about this ride is that we're getting the opportunity to teach people how to do what we're doing in real time. We're inspiring other people to take on a challenge that they probably wouldn't have took on before. And you're showing everybody it can be done by anybody as long as you take the tools that are being showed to you told to you. And the coolest part about it, this ride itself, is in order for you to do it, you have to be teaching, doing it. So that's what I love most about this whole social experiment. For those who are out there, that's why we coined this ride, the social experiment, the each one teach one, because you got to be willing to give back to somebody that you don't know in order to take this ride. It's different than any other ride that you might do with an IBA or anything. Those are on personal accomplishments that you just do. But this ride, the real reward is giving back to people that you don't even know. So I'm sorry about that, Chris. Any final thoughts on that?
No. And I was about to say before the next person goes, I want to give a shout out to some folk who I know have done it, like Sheldon Retro, MacIver.
Shout out to Pastor Retro.
He speaks. He's talked about it. Godson, Pastor.
Godson Breed. Pastor
yes,
Caldwell.
Sir.
Godson Breed. Yeah.
Yep. Some individuals who in this area, along with Clinton and B-Dog, kind of have helped fuel the desire of people to want to get out and ride and participate in things like the I-10 Challenge.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anybody next?
Go ahead, dog.
Well, I would say for me, riding with these guys is always a pleasure. Me and Clint been doing this probably about 10 years or so together.
Nice.
I met these other two guys within the last 3 or 4 years. They've been a great addition to me and Clint riding together. I will say time management is a big deal. When you're doing this kind of stuff, time management, making sure that everybody knows what's going on, talking to one another, that's something that has to be done. Because everybody can have their own ideas about what's going on, but everybody needs to be on the same page.
Facts.
I don't really have any bad, except for, well, I will say we had some bad weather, the first couple of days, whatever. But I mean, that's part of it, And for me, I mean, it was all around good experience. Best way to see the country on two wheels, and I love it.
Nice. Hey, I like what you said. Hey, man, we gotta be able to communicate. I'm gonna just tell everybody out there. I'm gonna just keep it 100, cause Sarge's petty. Man, you guys are well into 281. I've seen 300 plus riders go across and do this ride. Of course, we've had some that weren't able to finish because of maintenance issues or whatever the case may be. If you don't communicate before the ride, there are gonna be issues doing the ride. I'll just say that. You have to have a relationship. You have to have a mutual respect amongst one another, because things are gonna happen on that ride that you got to be able to be grown men or grown women about, and be able to communicate through without people getting in their feelings. Is that safe?
Absolutely.
Either that you want to choke each other out of the gas station.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm sorry about that, V-Dog. I'll let you finish up, bro.
Well, I'm just gonna say, it's one of those things. Everybody's grown men. We all like brothers. Sometimes brothers fight. So, hey, it is what it is. You go back to me. You let that go out the window, and you go back to being, brothers again.
Hey, man, I'm going to want to choke you at one gas station. By the time we get to the next gas station, I'm going to be sharing my Slim Jim and, and my pack of peanuts with you, because I still love you, brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Facts.
Go ahead,
next?
brother.
Who else?
Yeah, I'm right there with it. I'm gonna big, bounce off B-Dog, clear expectations of the ride, know who you riding with. Maintenance for your bike. I know I usually do all my own maintenance. I like to work on stuff. I like to get dirty. But this last time I had to schedule how I work on things, because I have a wife and kids. So I can't go outside when I'm supposed to be inside, right? Because of course I got a 3-year-old saying, Daddy, let me help. So hey, you know what? I have to find time, and now it's getting close. Let me put this bike in the shop. That way I can be mad at the shop instead of being mad at me on the road because I missed something, because I was trying to make sure something that was together.
Right.
I ask people, I see B Dog, Chris, and also Clint as my mentor. Hey, fellas, what you thought about this? Chris and I got on the phone and talked about the vest. We talked about the Camelback. So be clear. Hey, fellas, what y'all think? Get on YouTube, watch some videos. I remember last year, the first time I did this trip, the guy Marcus sent the link on, and the guy was talking about how he packed for the trip, what kind of clothes. Don't put 10 outfits inside of your bag. Put like 3, because you can also always wash it stuff. Put extra pair of drawers in. I had socks ready to go because it rained and some water got through my boots and stuff. So I had wet socks. Let me pull these socks out right now because I'm not gonna have blisters on my feet. So it's small little things that you may not even think about, but it's like, you know what? It's hard to prepare for a 10-day trip. But what are some what ifs that I can pack in? I don't want my clothes to exceed this bag. If it's don't fit in the bag, it don't need to go because I can't be weighed down on this trip. When we first started, Clinton was adamant of saying last year, what do you want to see? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? And I'm like, I don't care. I just want a fellowship. I just want a good group of guys to go on a trip with. And as we came on this year, it's like, it'd be cool to see the loneliest highway. But I'm like, it's so many lonely highways out here. I don't need to go through another lonely highway to get to the loneliest highway. I'm good. But it's communication, be clear on how you pack your things, and it's who you go with. Because I didn't even have to see the things that we saw. I was satisfied with fellowship and eating with these guys, having a brew with these guys, smoking a cigar with these guys. And then we come back home, I can still shoot a text to these guys and say, hey, man, that was a good trip. I'm glad that y'all are part of my 50-state journey,
Nice. And that bond, man, is something else, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it does, man. When you get on the highway, you go through the pains, the suffering, the sleep deprivation, the uncomfortableness, and you guys make it to the end, man. You got a bond, man, that will be with you forever. You all have those memories that you can talk about forever. Right on. I agree with that, man. Nice way to sum that up, Joseph. Nice way.
I'm gonna say real quick, know your body. Because on this trip, I was kind of tired, like the last 2 or 3 days, and these guys were still cooking. But I know, like, you know what? I can see them. I'm gonna cruise at 75. I'm in a minute. I know I'm tired, and I know my body's talking to me, saying, "Joe, your reflex not gonna be the same. You're not gonna be able to cut like that.
Right.
As long as I see that victory back there, I'm good. All right, go for it.
Right on. Right on.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll leave it to me.
Yes, sir.
You got time for that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll start with the ugly. The
Okay.
ugly was almost running out of gas. Like we already touched on that. Make sure you get that gas. That could have been so much uglier. So I think that was a scary thing for all of us, as far as that's concerned. The bad, the traffic, and the heat. Oh my God, it was hot. I think I saw 103 on my dash at one time. Might have been 105, but it got nice and crispy out there. So that would be the bad, the traffic and the heat. The good, thank God for, like I said, the HOV lanes, the express lanes, the cutting through traffic, ride down the center lane for bikes, and like he said, for your lips. Also, us as a people, we don't use sunscreen, but we need sunscreen. So put the sunscreen on. We hadn't
I
spoken
totally
on that.
agree.
But, oh yeah,
totally
get you
agree.
some good sunscreen. It does help. My wife actually said I didn't come back all crispy this time, and this was I didn't tell the guys, but this was my best trip, man. I've done this trip, not this exact trip, but I've done an annual trip. I think since 15 I started. So this was my best trip by far, and I've done it with different guys. Like B Dog said, we've been on quite a few trips together, but this is my best trip by far, man. I really enjoyed myself. And I want to thank you guys for the experience.
Wow, that's in a line. You've been doing this since 15. Fellas, man, man, that's big. That's big. Right on, right on. And it seemed like y'all were just smooth, man. I'm just gonna say, again, we monitor the rides. The wife and I, we monitor everything that goes on, and we track the riders from sun up to sundown. But it was I heard very little from you guys as far as issues and problems and those type of things, man. So it made me think, these cats are professionals. They know what they're doing. They're getting it done. A couple times y'all got too dang quiet. I was like, dang, man. And don't get me wrong. I like quiet because quiet tells me you're not having problems. Some riders, man, I every 10 minutes seem like something going on. God bless them, and I accept that too because, again, that's part of the whole social experiment. But I'm going to just say this, fellas. You guys' ride was a pleasure to watch, to observe, to see how you guys were getting down and being able to maneuver with each other. So let's say this real quick, man. My Charlotte crew, my Atlanta crew, let's go ahead and give them a Don DeMarco. Hey, man. Clinton Kelly, 278. Joseph Chisholm, 279. Brian Chapman, 280. And Chris Wilson, 281. Fellas, y'all did that dang thing, man. Would y'all suggest this ride to everybody?
For sure.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Last question before I let y'all go for the night. You ready?
Go ahead.
People want to know, man, how much Lucci I'm going to need to make a ride like this, man. What did I need to prepare financially to make a ride like this? Don't be lying. It's Sunday. Don't be lying.
So I have a buddy from Michigan who wants to do a cross-country trip, and he asked me, how much did I spend? And I said, I spent more this year than I spent last year because I didn't eat lunch. I said, my advice to you is, if you have a credit card, make sure it's at a zero balance before you leave.
That was real general.
Okay, yeah. Hey, he told us a lot, but he didn't tell us much. So what if my credit card limit $1,000?
Well,
you ain't gonna make it.
Don't take
That's
that
right for me.
You ain't gonna make it.
You ain't gonna make
I
it.
probably, I did some numbers. I added up some numbers, and I probably came out about, which I don't feel like is bad, about $2,300.
Okay.
For 10 days, and I feel like for a trip with myself, wife, and kid for a weekend, that's the flight and everything right there. So I don't.
Yeah.
So almost 11 days, $2,300.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say about 3,000.
About $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stopping in the gas station.
B-Dog, you spent $3,000.
I ain't gonna say I spent 3,000, but you need that need to be your minimum.
Okay, because I was gonna say you spent $3,000. You were tricking off.
No.
He did go to the go-go about. He did go to the
you having a good time. Okay, Chris, what'd you think?
So we haven't really finished our numbers yet. We still have a couple of outstanding things that we got to take care of.
Fair.
But I would also say, going to the gas station every time you stop, those little Skittles and crackers and those things add up also. So I think anywhere between $2,500 to $3,000 is a good number. And actually, you probably need to do a little bit more because we split 2 hotel rooms, so we were able to reduce our costs just by sharing rooms. So if you're going by yourself or you're going with someone who doesn't want to share a room, your lodging costs might be a little bit higher.
Yeah. Well, I think personally that's the biggest expense on the highway. Is those rooms. That's the biggest expense. Okay.
So you want to know how much we spent on the trip, but like you said, preparation is everything.
Yeah.
I had to get a tire while I was out there, and I should have got it before I left. But I did have my bike checked out, and I had to get service done. I got some brakes before I left. I got my fluids topped off. When I got out there, I got a 3-oil service. So you would think that they would have told me I needed a tire. They told me I needed an air filter, but they didn't tell me I needed a tire. So that's how I left the West Coast without a new tire. But service your bike, like B-Dog said, he gets both his tires done, get all his fluids changed. So that's a part of the expense also. So you got to plan accordingly that's going to be at least a good grand, 1,200. I don't know. It's he got a victory, so it's probably about 3,000. You know, you don't make them parts no more. So just finding them. But in all seriousness, that's something that you have to consider also. Like Chris said, about 3,000 for the trip. But I, with my service that I got when I got out there and the tire, I was about 4,500 in, about 45.
Okay. But, you know, and service is important. You can't make a trip like that without getting your bike service. You can't play around. You got to get your bike service. At minimum, good tires put on the bike, a 3-hole punch, and an inspection from tire to tire on the bike. Like you said, it can cost you $1,000. Maybe a little bit more, depends on what the situation is. Most of the time, for most of the riders, I tell them, and I've been told that anywhere from once you've got the bike serviced and got what you need on the bike, anywhere from the cheapest I've heard was $1,500 to $2,000 on the cheap end. And I think you guys were pretty close around the same numbers that I was talking about. Depends on how big the pack is that you're traveling with and how extravagant your tastes are. If you want to eat out at fine dining, it gets a little uglier. If you got to buy something at every gas station, it can get expensive. And if you're gonna stay at a 4-star, 5-star hotel, it's gonna rip the pockets off your pants. Is that fair?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, gentlemen, I know you guys got things to do. Y'all got to go to work because y'all got to pay for this trip that y'all just made. Go get that Lucci back in the house. But I'm going to say this, man, fellas, thank you so much for caring enough to share your ride with us. And because gentlemen like you, we're going to be better motorcycle riders in the future. So let's give a hand to you fellas, and let's do this real quick. Man, they did their thing. Clinton, Joseph, Brian, and Chris, they got it in. I-10 to the end, some 6,000 miles on these highways and byways. Gentlemen, any last words before we let you guys go?
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Sarge. All you do.
Appreciate you, fellas, man. Mad love and more to come. We're going to be reaching out more and more and sharing more and more of these experiences. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. And in the meantime, and in between time, y'all keep it motorcycling, you dig? Appreciate you, fellas. Much love.
All right.
Hey, there to go, y'all. My Charlotte and Atlanta crew, man, these brothers did their thing. Some 6,000 plus miles on the highway. Made it look way too easy, man. So, again, all that tells us that these gentlemen were prepared. They were ready to rock and roll. Obviously, as you can tell from the interview, these gentlemen they communicate well. They're professional. They're adults. And they were able to do what they had to do. They had a couple bumps in the road with having to replace a tire and some issues. But as you can tell, when you're prepared and you got your stuff together, man, it is nothing to it. It's just a little hiccup. Again, we got some riders to get ready to start off this week. Hopefully you guys are paying attention. Hopefully you guys are prepared and prepping yourself for this ride. We appreciate all the riders who have rode over this last year with us and came through and supported the program. Without you guys and you ladies, we could not do what we do today. We appreciate you guys very well. And if you hadn't made reservations yet at the host hotel for the Iron Elite event, February 7th and 8th, 2025 here in Jacksonville, Florida. If you had not done it yet, please get over to the Iron Elite page, Home of the Ground Pounders Reunion, the Facebook group page. In the top section featured is the host hotel information. Go through, book your host hotel, man. The rooms are filling up really, really fast. Last time I checked, 2 weeks ago, it was over 90 rooms booked. So please get your room. Don't call me the week before and say, Sarge, what's the information on the hotel? Man, go get the room today. It's not going to cost you a penny. The flyer is also in the featured section of the page. It's the weekend of the 7th and 8th of February 2025. It's the Ground Pounders reunion, man. We're going to be there. Some of the baddest motorcycle riders on the planet is going to be there that weekend. And what we're going to do is we're going to eat, we're going to break bread, we're going to love on each other, we're going to network with each other, and we're going to talk about the things that we love talking about the most, and that's motorcycle riding, man. So February 7th and 8th, here in Jacksonville, Florida, Adam Mack Harley Davidson, Bay Meadows Boulevard, man, we're going to do our thing. Iron Elite, paying tribute to Black History Month event. So get your butt down and make your arrangements now. Also, for those who are interested in the merchandise, the merch link, we do have the merch link. It is it's in the description. Just go into the merch link if you wanted to pick up some of the Keep It motorcycling gear, if you want to pick up some of the Iron Elite gear, if you've been certified as an I-10 to the N rider and you would like to get your I-10 to the N rider cert, you can pick it right up there on the merch link. You go on, you put in what you want. As long as you have a certified number, you can get the shirt. Everything else, let's see, you only can get the shirt and a certificate if you are a documented rider. But everything else on the link you can order and get whatever you would like to do. So it's easy breezy. Just go on the merch link, check it out, see what's available out there, and pick up what you want. If you would like to register, if you want more information about the I-10 to the N ride itself, we have the registration link in the description. So go check it out. Fill it out and go ahead and plan your ride, man. We would love to have you take part of the social experiment. And I think we've covered it all. Oh, by the way, the Iron Elite podcast. If you would like to support the Iron Elite podcast, you can do it in a couple ways. Reach up and subscribe to the channel, Sarge Life and Motorcycling. It is the home base of the Iron Elite podcast show. Also, if you would like to support the channel and the cause of what we're doing, you can go ahead and shoot a Cash App. And I'm going to put that up on the screen. If you would like to support the channel, whether it's $1 or $2, if you would like to support us with a super chat, we're available. We're able now to use super chats or super thanks. We would love to have you guys support for us to do what we do, to have a premier channel to talk about what we like to talk about, and that's motorcycle riding. Safe, sound, proficiently. I'm going to have more guests coming up in the future that we're going to be talking about motorcycle equipment. We're going to be talking about maintenance. We're going to be talking about other rides other than the I-10 to the N. We have the Above and Beyond series, Yonder series. I've had riders come on who've made the ride to Prudhoe Bay. I've had riders come on who've done the Hoka Hay Challenge. I've had riders come on who's done the SCMA's Grand Slam and the Three Flags Classic. We're going to have more and more riders coming on, again, talking about long-distance motorcycling. So Sarge Life and Motorcycle is the YouTube channel. The Iron Elite Podcast is the platform where we're going to be doing all this stuff on. Come Tuesday morning, 11 a.m., I'm going to have a highway beast on. It's D. Bell. It's David Bell, man. Gold Star 3rd Award, I-10 to the N. We're going to have him come on, and I'm going to tell you something now. D. Bell ride motorcycles, man. I'm just telling you now, he ride motorcycles, man. So when we bring D. Bell on, man, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about equipment. We're going to talk about the machine itself. We're going to talk about clothing. D. Bell's going to break it down. I'm telling you, man, this dude knows more about motorcycling, motorcycle apparel, motorcycle equipment than most people I know. So please feel free to tune in into that particular show. It's Tuesday. October 1st. Tune in, 11 a.m. Eastern time, man. I guarantee you'll be informed and you will be entertained. With that being said, man, hey, man, Sarge is going to go ahead and sign out. And them Jaguars, man, I give up, man. I'll see y'all in 2025. And in the meantime and in between time, y'all keep it motorcycling, you dig?
I know. Sarge, is motorcycling the only thing you talk about? Is motorcycling the only thing you care about? Nope. I care about the Jacksonville Jaguars too.